Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
We're tracking that breaking story over on Detroit's east side. This house explosion leaving a neighborhood block littered with debris. It tops our news tonight at 6. I'm Devin Skillian.
I'm Kimberly Gill. It's all unfolding at a home on Barlow Street. That's just off 7 Mile, not far from the intersection of 7 Mile and Hoover. Victor Williams has been at the scene since the very beginning. Victor, you've learned 3 kids living next door were hurt. Tell us more.
Yeah, that's right, Devin and Kimberly. It was all because of the explosion. The glass ended up blowing out because of this explosion and then cutting several of these kids in the face. But take a look right behind me. This has been the scene for the past few hours. Investigators, DFD, DTE, DPD, all of these folks out here trying to get to the bottom of what took place. Now, just like you guys mentioned, there were 3 kids that were transported to the hospital. They are believed to be okay, but they're trying to figure out if there was another person inside of this house or somewhere around it when this explosion happened somewhere around 3:40. Now, we were able to talk to Chief James Harris with DFD, and here's what he had to say about where things stand with the investigation currently.
The house is a total loss. We're still extinguishing that fire as we speak. We're still doing a search. There was significant damage to the home right next door.
It sounded like a big explosion with a lot of shockwave and electromagnetic pulse because our TV went out for a hot second when that happened. So that was also shocking.
I'm praying for what might have been in that house. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense what happened. And the way it sounded shook everybody in the neighborhood.
And just like you just heard from that person, the explosion was so massive that a lot of the people in this area ended up coming out trying to figure out what was going on. They all were just right here in this spot watching on as all of this unfolded. We are once again trying to figure out the cause of this, and once police let us know that information, we'll keep everyone updated. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Okay, Victor. Also breaking out of Sterling Heights, 2 women are shot in a road rage incident near Hall Road in Shaner. Sources tell us a woman with a permit to carry a concealed weapon shot the driver and passenger of another car that she says wouldn't leave her alone. We don't know what happened right before the shooting, but we do know the shooter stayed at the scene to talk to police. We're on our way there. We'll bring you an update at 11.
Also breaking here within just the last 5 minutes or so, a judge removed Christina Caramo as Michigan's GOP chairwoman. Judge Joseph Rossi said that there were enough votes to unseat Caramo in a special meeting of the party's state committee. This means former state representative and former ambassador Pete Hoekstra is the chair of the Michigan Republican Party. He's already been recognized by the National Republican Party. We have more on this coming up, of course, on later editions following this on this election day here on Local 4 News. It hasn't been the warmest February 27th in Detroit history. It's been the warmest February day, period.
It's incredible. There's a forewarned weather alert, though, because of what could happen overnight. So let's get over to Kim Adams with more. Kim.
Sure, when you get a day like today with temperatures in the 70s and you add a few more atmospheric conditions to it, we are ripe for severe weather, including large hail, high winds, and an isolated tornado not out of the question. 66 now in Detroit. We are cooling rather rapidly. The sun is just now setting, so these temps will be dropping. We hit a high today of 73. That is the warmest on record ever in not just today, but the entire month of February in history. 67 in Howell, also in Pontiac, 66 in Adrian. We hit 70 a couple of times, but nothing like what we had today with those highs in the low 70s. Nocturnal storms that hit at night are more dangerous. Our timeline is between 11 and 2 a.m. So hard to see if a tornado does develop. Most of you will be sleeping. And then there are a couple other atmospheric conditions that can contribute to those storms being more deadly when they hit overnight. Storm threats, wind and hail, especially hail. We are expecting hail anywhere from 1 inch to 1.75 inches in diameter. Here's the scale. We're going to hover right here, right around a golf ball. This size hail could be hitting us overnight tonight. So we're going to talk more about the timing. And then tomorrow at this same time, it will feel like it's 60 degrees colder. So we'll talk about all of it coming up. But as I said, nighttime storms are more deadly, especially if a tornado does develop. Again, that would be rare, but it could happen. So have your 411 weather app handy on your nightstand, and it will alert you if a severe weather warning is there when you're sleeping.
All right, Kim, back to you here shortly. In a city like Detroit, you would assume we have the necessary fire trucks and equipment to make rescues in high-rise buildings.
But what the Local 4 investigators found out this afternoon might leave you a little bit nervous. So let's bring in Karen Drew. She's been busy uncovering this serious issue today. Karen.
Well, I got this tip that Ladder 7 that serves the Midtown area and downtown area has been broken since October. It has no bucket attached to the ladder, so it can't rescue people out of tall buildings. So I spent the day trying to track down that broken truck. And what I found could leave you worried if you work, live, or visit the city. I saw it over there with the bucket. So I got video of it. So I was just like, how long has that been sitting here? And everyone's...
To understand why it was over at the Detroit Fire Department repair shop this afternoon, peering through the windows there to see what's being stored, we should start from the beginning. Our day started here at Ladder Company number 7 in Midtown. The issue here, a union spokesperson tells me, their ladder truck has had no bucket for high-rise rescues since October.
Especially downtown and high rises. If we would get a fire down there and we needed to perform rescues, that's definitely the truck that you want down there.
That truck specifically serves Wayne State, the new center area, and of course downtown if it's needed.
And that brings us over to the city's east side. We're at the corner of Moran and Grand Boulevard. Behind me, Fire Hall number 23. I will tell you, insiders within the fire department are telling me there is a squad that is assigned to this building. The issue, the squad is supposed to hold all the tools for the firefighters. The problem, there's not enough space on the truck.
Here's a photo of Squad 3, and Detroit Fire insiders also sent me these pics of some of the needed rescue equipment that just doesn't fit on the truck.
They have like the jaws of life. If we need to get someone out of a car, if we need to stabilize a car on the freeway, they have stabilizers on there.
Now, let's go back to where we started at the Detroit Fire Repair Shop over at Eastern Market. I got another tip telling me there's a bucket truck here. Been here for months. Not being used because it can't fit into a fire hall.
That truck right there, I believe, is the truck we're talking about that has a bucket that the city could be using. And as I'm shooting this video, they're shutting the garage. I saw the bucket truck. Has it been there longer than a month?
I can't discuss it with you.
All right. What can you tell me?
I can't tell you anything.
Can't tell me anything. Why they shut the garage on me? Okay, so here's the latest. After waiting since October for a truck with a bucket or a platform for rescues, take a look at this. It was just about 90 minutes ago. Ladder Company number 7 got a truck with a rescue bucket. We were there when they were pulling the truck onto the property. Sources inside the department telling me they switched rigs around to make this all happen. Ironically, happened about 6 hours after I started asking questions. Chief James Harris sent us this statement saying the safety and protection of the citizens of the city of Detroit remains our top priority. When Ladder 7's platform ladder was being repaired, a complete check of the vehicle resulted in additional issues being discovered. Due to these additional specialized repairs, getting that vehicle back in service has taken longer than usual.
So where did they get this fire truck?
Right? It's very confusing. So I'm being told that that truck came from Ladder 17. So that was on the west side.
Okay.
Then that bucket truck I found over at Eastern Market, they moved that one over to the west side because it couldn't fit in the other building. So they moved them all around. They fixed it. It could have been fixed before, so
Presumably, yes.
I don't know why it
Yeah.
took all this time. They've been waiting since October, but I'm glad we were able to help those firefighters because in the end, they need their equipment to save lives.
The right place. Yep.
Sure.
All right.
All right, Karen, thank you. Well, we are learning more about a deadly head-on collision involving someone driving the wrong way on Telegraph Road in Taylor. The crash scene, one of the worst local accident investigators have ever seen. Sean Lay live tonight with how this unfolded and what drivers should know if they're faced with a vehicle heading toward them in the wrong lane. Sean.
Karen, this is terrifying. I want to make it clear right now is that 32-year-old driver, a mom of a 4-year-old, was the wrong way driver. She did not survive what happened, hitting head on a 40-year-old man who was on his way to work. It's scary because most of us drive. I've had 2 wrong way drivers coming at me as I was on my way to work, so you have to understand how to get out of the way. What happened here, the driver, the 40-year-old man, just couldn't, there was no time at all to get out of the way of what was coming towards him.
Taylor Police Officer, how can I help you? Hey, there's a car going the wrong way down Telegraph. It's heading southbound on the northbound side.
The frantic calls to Taylor 911 began pouring in at 4:30 Sunday morning. Driver after driver alerting Taylor police as they watch a woman speeding south on Telegraph Road in the northbound lanes.
I have someone that is going the opposite direction on the wrong side of Telegraph.
Taylor police tell us one driver followed the wrong way driver for 2 to 3 miles, honking her horn, desperately trying to get the wrong way driver to stop. When that driver ran head on into a 40-year-old man in a Dodge Ram. The impact is so disturbing, we have to stop the video right here.
It's a bad accident.
Taylor police officer Anthony Borg is an accident investigator. This is the horrific debris field he pulled up to. What happened?
Well, I was notified by my lieutenant of a serious injury accident on Telegraph Road just south of Schaumburg that came in as a wrong-way driver on Telegraph.
That driver could have killed someone, but the 32-year-old in a Land Rover was the one who was killed. Taylor police tell us the woman's family says she was on her way home after a night out with friends in Detroit. Police believe the woman pulled off of I-94 and began speeding the wrong way down Telegraph Road.
What could you tell a driver to avoid a wrong-way driver?
If you see a wrong-way driver, just try to pull over to the shoulder or enter into a business parking lot as quickly and safely as you can. Now on the other end, if you're a driver and if you have drank too much or you're tired or anything and you don't think you should be driving, I recommend calling a friend to pick you up. There's Uber, pull over.
Back here live, you saw how quickly that happened, though. The driver of the Dodge Ram, the 40-year-old man, really no time to get out of the way. Make it clear, the 32-year-old woman who was the wrong-way driver lives in Taylor. Her 4-year-old, she's a mom, was at home at the time while she was coming back from seeing friends in Detroit. Toxicology is being done on her at the moment to see if drugs, alcohol, or a medical condition was the reason. The 40-year-old man that was hit could have been killed, but is in serious condition with some serious injuries in the hospital tonight. Kimberly.
Just awful, awful. Okay, Sean, thank you.
All right, you've got just under 2 hours left to vote in today's primary election. Remember, if you're in line by 8 p.m. and have not yet filled out your ballot, you will still be allowed to vote. There are a few cities with proposals on the ballot, but most people are casting their vote to name which presidential hopeful they would like to see as their nominee this November. Local 4 is your home for primary night coverage coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. Kim, right? My proper grammar. Kimberly Gill and Christy McDonough will be joined by experts and special guests to break down the results. We will be looking into the top issues for voters. What's next in 2024? All tonight at 10. I hope you'll join us streaming only on Local 4 Plus and clickondetroit.com.